Morning, everybody. It is just after 11 Saturday morning here on the East Coast, and we are about to, actually, we're just a couple of plays into the third of our four Autumn Wind Wildcard games. And today's contest features the New Orleans VooDoo, coached by Butch, up against Carolina, coached by Dan. Let's see, Dan had 10 wins this year. New Orleans had 9. Both of these clubs are in the Stram division and would be the number 4 and number 5 seeds here in the AFC. They had some connection issues actually this morning. Had to throw out several numbers, but they finally settled on one, and we're just a couple plays here into the contest. So I'm still setting up the board here. When I was in the lobby getting everything connected, I noticed that the Duke has joined us. Are you there?
I'm here, Michael.
Oh my gosh, what an honor, if you will. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. So Carolina started out with the ball. They've had a drive. They've made their way down to the 40. They completed a pass that was double teamed on a 2nd and 7. And that is Tua Tagovailoa under center. And there's another double team pass that is incomplete. That was intended for Robbie Anderson. So that's Tua under center with Nick Chubb. On one side, he's got Robbie Anderson, and on the other, he has Moore. Interestingly, both of these clubs, I was just looking through the standings and their scores, both of these clubs allowed fewer than 20 points apiece this season. So some tough defenses here. New Orleans averaged around 24 points a game, I believe, and Carolina just over 21. So two clubs, again, from the same division, the Stram division here in the AFC. We've already played the other AFC wildcard game, so things are pretty much set in the AFC at the conclusion of this game. There's a run, guessed wrong, pickup of 6 on the play, and now we have 4th and 4 at the 34. Kind of that no man's land where it's a 51-yard field goal, probably on the cusp of field goal range, but you certainly don't want to punt it here. So they are going to go for it on 4th and 4. They'll stay in the I formation that we've seen for several plays here on this opening drive. So let's see if New Orleans can extend this drive. And there's a pass, 2 men in the zone. It is incomplete. And the Carolina Panthers are going to take over. So New Orleans took the opening kickoff, drove to the Carolina 34, but the drive is stopped on a 4th and 4. And now Carolina will get their shot. And that's the real life New York Giants quarterback, Jones, under center, with 2 elite wide receivers. And we're already going to see one of them right there, Mike Williams, with a big catch of 33 yards. And they're successfully going to flip the field. In fact, now they are at the VooDoo 33. Look at those great wide receivers. Jefferson, who is among the elites in the NFL, along with Williams, who, if he can stay healthy, he's clearly a top 10, top 15 wide receiver as well. It's just been a matter of health for him. There's another chunk play, 17 yards. And that's Goddard from the Philadelphia Eagles, who will be a little preoccupied in about 30 hours, be playing in the Super Bowl for the real life Eagles. And so 2 plays after taking possession, they're already at the New Orleans, they're already at the VooDoo's 16-yard line. There's another pass, but this one falls incomplete. 2nd down and 10. Open up one more little window here today. So that pass again was intended for Goddard. Off tackle run. It only nets 2, and that's Jamal Williams, who this year tallied 1,000 yards for the real life Detroit Lions. He'll have an interesting card. He didn't have a lot of his per carry average wasn't great, But I remember when Carolina made this deal, I thought about getting him as an extra running back, but opted not to. Instead, I chose Javonte Williams in the draft, and he had a terrific season for me, but unfortunately he got hurt in the NFL. Won't be very effective next year. There's another pass to Goddard that's 11 yards, and Jones is off to a hot start for Carolina. And they are now at the VooDoo 3-yard line. Midway here in the first quarter. There's a pass looking for Jefferson, 4 men in the zone, and it's incomplete. Jones 3 for 5 on this drive. The big play, a 33-yard hookup with Mike Williams. Another look to Jefferson, and he will catch this one. Touchdown. So early on, Carolina is picking on a VooDoo secondary that has a 4 guarding Williams and a 0 on Justin Jefferson. That's Justin Tucker, so they have an elite kicker, something to keep in mind. And Carolina strikes first. So New Orleans took the first drive all the way to the Carolina 34, but they were stymied. And so New Orleans will have their second shot at it. Didn't take Carolina much time to go down the field. That was basically a drive that lasted just a little bit over 3 minutes. So here we go. New Orleans again. That's Tua Tagovailoa. Should have a much, much better card next year. Doesn't hurt when you get Tyreek Hill over the offseason and a second season for Jalen Waddle, who was fantastic this year. If he could stay healthy, that could be an up-and-coming team, certainly offensively. Second down and nothing there. That's a run for Chubb. So after that first down incomplete pass and a run that stops Chubb in the backfield, they're playing behind the 6, third down at 11. The ball on the 12. Carolina's secondary is strong, and there's a successful double team as they were looking for Chubb, and that pass is incomplete. And so they're going to turn the ball back over to Carolina. So Powell calls a fair catch. Carolina has nice field position here at the 42. Already up 7-0. 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. There's an off-tackle run to Williams, and he will pick up 5. It's now second down and 5. Let's see if there's anybody else. So Dan Shore and there's a pass that's caught. That's a pickup of 15. And again, that defender reading comes into play. Only a 6 would have been able to stop that, however. He is being defended by a 0. So that's going to be tough sledding for New Orleans today. Going to have some successful double teams, and in this case, they do. So Mike Williams double teamed on that play. And it's second down and 10. The ball resting at the VooDoo 39. There's a run for 6. It's now second down and 4. Jamal Williams on the carry. So I've been hit up on Slack a couple times here. There's a look for Williams, and it is incomplete as the 4 is able to make the play there. And now we have, again, this elite kicker in Justin Tucker. And I jinxed him. What do you know? Good 2 through 10. 2 through 9, I'm sorry. And 10, 11, 12, no good. So he is unable to convert on that 49-yard field goal. So New Orleans dodges a bullet. They will take over at the 39. And there is a deep shot, and he's looking for Robbie Anderson, and it's complete, and he is going to go to the house. Touchdown. So just like that, Tua Tagovailoa connects with Robbie Anderson. It's a long gain, guess wrong, on Tua's card. And pending this extra point, looks like we're going to be knotted up at 7. Sorry, I had to drop off for just a little bit. I'm being hit up on Slack by some SSFA coaches. Our 2014 league is kicking off today. And there is another long gain. So it's a white dice 6 reading, and that was who is who is Thomas? That Thomas is the tight end. Let's see who that. Oh, it's Logan Thomas. Okay. Gosh, look at the weapons on this team. 2 great tight ends and 2 outstanding wide receivers. So just looking at the standings here one more time, it's kind of surprising. I would have thought that Carolina would have been the team that would have scored more points this season. But actually, I believe it was New Orleans that scored more points. Yeah, New Orleans scored 384 points compared to 338 for Carolina. But Carolina's been able to move the ball up and down the field. There's an interception split. Let's see. Nope. Pass is incomplete. So Carolina, after giving up another long gain on this drive, is able to hold serve, and they're going to force this punt from the 42. So let's see if Carolina can. Well, look at this. So look, he's trotting out Tucker onto the field. He's going to attempt a 60-yarder, and he puts that one through the pipe. So after missing a 49-yard field goal from the midfield stripe, is able to kick a 60-yarder. And in all my years of autumn wind, I don't know that I've seen that. So there's a touchback. And Carolina now has the lead 10-7. So we now are heading into the second quarter. New Orleans with the ball at their own 25. And there's a run on first down for Nick Chubb. And he picks up 14 on the play. Ball now resting at the 39. Here comes another off-tackle run. Defense calling pass and double teaming two other players. It's on the D card. He picks up 3. It's 2nd down and 7. Butch has a nice offensive line there with 3 6s. I can't quite see what the center is. There's a big run again. Now this one goes for 15 yards and another first down. So for as strong as Carolina is in their secondary, their run defense leaves a little bit to be desired, and they are definitely picking on that. There's a flat pass, 2 men in the zone, and it's a big loss of 14. So that screen pass goes absolutely nowhere for the VooDoo. It's 2nd down and 14, ball at the 47-yard line. It's just over 12. They get some of that back. There's a pickup of 5 for Nick Chubb, who has 46 yards here in the first half on 9 carries. So 3rd and 9. Short passing, not the strength of Tagovailoa, but he does have some decent targets here. Off-tackle draw to Chubb, and he's going to pick up just enough to get to within 1 yard. So this is a no-brainer. He's going to go for it here. Pickup of 8. So 4th and 1. Short yardage defense. They're looking for Evan Ingram. Oh, incomplete. Wow. Bad break there for New Orleans as on Tua's card. Guessed wrong. He just happened to find that blank at 4. And so again, this is the 2nd time now they've missed out on 4th down. And once again, it's actually the same yard line. Carolina will take over at the 34. So Carolina all out on that run, but Tua unable to connect with Evan Ingram, and the Panthers will take over at their 34. They're already up 10-7 here in this autumn win wildcard game. Now, the winner of this game, it's already been set up. The winner of this game is going to play the Montreal Alouettes. There's a flat pass, and it's complete, and a first down. As Jones finds Goddard, that's his 3rd catch for 37 yards. Off-tackle run for Jamal Williams. That's another chunk play. He's going to pick up 14. And that'll take it to the 37. Incomplete pass there from Jones, who was 7 for 15 for 121 yards. So he's underwater completion percentage-wise, but he's had so many great long passes to these terrific targets there: Jefferson, Williams, Goddard, and Logan Thomas. There's a sideline pass. Defense gets run, and there's a nice chunk play. That's 12 yards for Williams. And move the sticks. Carolina strong offensively here in this first half. Off-tackle run for Williams, and that one is stopped a yard behind the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 11. So after that run from Felton, we now have 3rd and 10. Tucker already has a 60-yard field goal, so we know he can hit a 52-yarder. He did miss a 49-yarder here just a moment ago. There's a pass that is complete on a successful double team. So another bad break there for New Orleans, an 11-yard pickup to Jefferson. And it's another first down. Actually, that was to Tony. So, wow, New Orleans must have been using the force there to double team that 3rd wide receiver. He must have known something was coming, but Tony is still able to make the catch. Here's a pass to Logan Thomas. No, actually, Jones is going to run, and he'll pick up 7. And it's now 2nd down and 3. Carolina already up 10-7, looking to extend this lead. Looking very strong offensively here in this first half. Looking for Mike Williams. Oh, bad break there for Carolina as they fooled New Orleans. New Orleans called run on that play, but he dialed up the 11 on Daniel Jones's card. Interception split. Not much of a risk of a pick there. Only a 2 would have gotten it, but the pass falls harmlessly to the turf. And boy, New Orleans would be very, very happy to keep this to a touchdown game, and they could do so if they stop them here on 3rd down and 3. There's an end run to the right, and Jones takes it all the way just outside of the goal line, takes it to the 1. And so now it's 1st and goal to go. Let's see if Carolina brings on the full house. They do. So that's Jamal Williams and Chase Reynolds back there. Jones under center. It's a sneak for Jones, and he has stopped right there at the line of scrimmage. So 2nd down and goal again from the 1. Linebacker in the zone was able to make that play. Linebacker in zone 0 or 4. So they stopped him for no gain. Let's see if they can do it again. Run key. This time they go to Williams, and again, he is stopped on the D card. And this time, the linebacker in the zone was the same role. So the linebacker again makes the play. And so it's 3rd and goal at the 1. Let's see if the VooDoo can keep this goal line stand rolling. Off tackle run for Balaj. And Balaj is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. He loses a yard. And so on 3 consecutive plays, no gain, and a stop behind the line of scrimmage. And so now it's 4th and 2. And congratulations to the VooDoo. They are going to hold Carolina to 3. So they're going to maintain this 1-score lead, which is kind of a big deal. Actually, it's a very, very big deal. So a couple of good rolls and a couple of good calls. And come on, gentlemen, put this one through the pipes. And he does. So good news, Carolina extends their lead to 13-7, but bad news, obviously they were hoping for more, and they did leave New Orleans a pretty decent amount of time here. 3 minutes to go just before the half. Oh, so looking for Evan Ingram on that play, and he is sacked, and it's a big sack of 10 yards. So Tunga Bailoa is taken down. It's now 2nd down and 20. There's an off-tackle run for Chubb. linebacker there in the zone. Actually, I'm sorry, that was it was an off-tackle run, so a pickup of 6. So now it's 3rd and 14. VooDoo was hoping for a chunk play there, so this would be a more manageable 3rd down. It was not. Neither team has called timeout here, so we've made our way to the 2-minute warning. Defense throws that 3-2-6 out. Chubb is going to run one up the middle. That's going to just net a few yards, only 2. And Carolina will take timeout. So not exactly what New Orleans was hoping for there. That 10-yard sack derailed any chance of them scoring here before the half unless we see a turnover. VooDoo might not get their mitts on the ball. Minute 45 to go. Carolina with the ball at the 27 have been able to move effectively on the VooDoo. 3 scoring drives. Although one of them was a 60-yard field goal, so who knows how effective that drive was. The 0 men in zone, 20-yard pickup. Boy, that was a nice break. Good roll there for Dan. And they have the ball at the 47. They're in the hurry up. They preserved a timeout. A must run for Daniel Jones. Let's see if he can get out of bounds. Well, he zigzags. He goes one way, and now, yes, he does make his way to the sideline, stopping the clock with 1:15 to go. 2nd down and 5. Ball resting at the 48. There's a slant pass to Logan Thomas, and it's incomplete. Thomas not able to make the reception. Actually, that was a short pass. Thomas can't make the catch. It's now 3rd and 5. I'm obligated to say that if they do not convert from here, they are 65 yards away from a field goal. So I do wonder. Well, now I truly wonder if we're going to see it. Now it is going to be 4th and 2. So definitely decision time here for Carolina. Do they go for it? Do they kick this field goal from here, which would be a 62-yard attempt, and risk giving the ball back to the VooDoo? New Orleans might be wondering whether or not to call timeout, or I wonder if we have had a game freeze. Well, I don't know. Well, everybody, I'm not sure what's going on here, to be quite honest. I think we've had a game freeze. Or I've had a game crash. How about that? So I'll put in the old number and see if that worked. Gosh, I hate to think I'm going to miss this next play, but yeah, well, something is awry because it's throwing a bunch of error messages here. I'm just going to I hate to disturb one of these coaches. Did the game freeze? Question mark. I can't log in with the old number. Yeah, there was a crash. So we'll So it looks like we had a game crash, and right after that, we just had a 3rd and 5 reception for a touchdown. So let me open when the game freezes, basically everything stops. You've got to reset the game here. So let's get the card image back out. So I was a little thrown by that because the animation on 3rd and 5 revealed a 3-yard pass on my side, but I guess they didn't see it. So I thought I saw 4th and 2, but then the game froze. And when we reset the game again, it was 3rd and 5. And we just saw a long pass to, I'm assuming it was Jefferson. We'll look at the box score here in just a little bit. Either way, Carolina has extended their lead to 20-7. There's a pass to Ingram. He's not able to get out of bounds. And Carolina will call timeout. So there's 30 seconds to go, trying to do anything they can to put a score on here before the half as they're trailing 20-7. So that was a 48-yard pass to Justin Jefferson. So perhaps it was, I thought I read 3rd and 5 on that scoreboard. Duke, did you happen to see that? I guess I'll just go back and look through the broadcast later. But regardless, it's a touchdown. There's a deep shot looking for Lazard. It is incomplete. It's now 3rd and 8 with the ball to 46. And Tunga Vailoa on the must run picks up just enough for the first down. And the ball's now resting at the 38. But the VooDoo do not have any timeouts now, so there's one play left. I don't know if they have a kicker who can convert from 55. Let's see who he trots out here. They're just going to try to chuck this one deep. So Carolina lines up with a 3-2-6. Robbie Anderson has the lone score for the VooDoo today. Looking deep for Ingram, and it is incomplete. And so Carolina will get the ball here to start the 3rd quarter. Let's see if they do take a moment. They're going to take a couple minutes, and we'll take a break too. We'll be back with you in just a little bit. All right, everybody, let's hop back into it here. So, Carolina is up 20-7 over New Orleans. Carolina finished 10-6 this year. New Orleans finished 9-7. So these are the number 4 and number 5 seeds in the AFC Wildcard. So the winner of this contest is going to go up against Joe Golden's New York Giants, who finished 12-4. So Carolina up 2 scores here. They have the ball to begin the third quarter. And on the heels of that 18-yard pickup to Goddard, they now have made their way once again into VooDoo territory. Ball now rests at the 39 after that 4-yard pickup pass to Logan Thomas. 245 yards already for Jones. Looking for Justin Jefferson here, and they are not able to connect. And so now it's 3rd and 6. So this is a big, big third down for the VooDoo. Already trailing 13. If they're able to stop him, they're still facing a field goal attempt. Here's an off-tackle run. And he dials up the dreaded 5, and he loses 2. So now, decision time for Carolina. They are going to kick it for the second time. Tucker is lining up on the midfield shield, and what a weapon. Bingo. 3 points, 23-7. It's a 2-touchdown lead still. So the VooDoo have what I believe to be a mission-critical drive here. And it's off to a good start. Nice little pickup there. It'll begin at the 31-yard line. They do have an elite kick returner who has a touchdown on a 4 and a long gain on a 12, so you're almost obligated to try to run that thing out of the end zone almost every time. But at the same time, look, you've got an 11 and a 12 on 7 and 8. So you just as easily could start your drive at your own 2-yard line. Tua is able to complete his first pass here of the second half for 12 yards to Moore, and you can move the chains now to the 43-yard line. I wondered which Moore that was. That's Rondale Moore from the Arizona Cardinals. And, oh, wow, interception split. But instead, that is another catch, again, for Evan Ingram. 4th catch today. Evan Ingram had a great year for the real-life Jacksonville Jaguars. So he should have an even better card next year. Tua again, throwing flat, incomplete pass. It's actually incomplete on Evan Ingram's card. So again, he should have a much better card next year. There's a pass to Rondale Moore. 3 men in the zone, and it's an interception split. But Moore is able to haul it in. And this is where the VooDoo twice have met their Waterloo. They have had 2 4th downs right here in this range where they unfortunately did not convert and have turned the ball over twice. But it's not going to happen here. Not going to happen here at all. And Robbie Anderson hauls in a 32-yard reception, and that'll put the ball at the 1. Just missed scoring his 2nd touchdown of the game. So Carolina had a situation like this, 1st and goal at the 1, and they were able to, actually they were held from scoring a touchdown and had to settle for a field goal. Let's see if they can return the favor. Well, that's 1 down, 3 to go. or maybe 2 to go. Tua is stopped as the center is not able to make the block. So it's now second down and goal from the 1. Let's see if Carolina run keys here. There's a pass to Ingram. Wow, 1 yard pickup, but Ingram is able to haul it in. And no hesitation at all. The VooDoo are going to go for it here. Going to try to get those 2 points and knock this down to a 8-point lead. Looking for Robbie Anderson. Defense calls run. Oh, incomplete. So our running backs have the dreaded 5. He hit that dreaded interception split. But a nice drive there for the VooDoo as Robbie Anderson comes up big for his second long gain. And things are looking a lot better for the VooDoo, who were trailing by 16. Now they're trailing by 10. Now they have to figure out a way to stop this super hot offense. And Jones, who has been lights out throughout this contest, he's got such great weapons. So the VooDoo's going to have to put their thinking caps on here and try to slow this offense down. Here's an off-tackle run. And there's a pickup of just a few there. That was Felton. He needed a 1 to pick up that 11 because he's a limited carry running back. So that's pretty frustrating. All he can get basically is his per carry average. So it's 3rd down and 6. Now he's looking for Felton, and he makes the catch. So Felton is one of those running back hybrid wide receiver cards, and you line him up in the backfield and you look for good matchups. And it looks like they found one. There's a pass that is caught by Logan Thomas, and that's another first down. He had a fumble split on that play, but he's able to hold on to the ball. And Carolina now has it at their own 48, 1st and 10, 4:30 on a running clock. Here's an off-tackle run for Williams. That's going nowhere. He loses a yard, 2nd down and 11. He has 11 carries now for 29 yards. Again, a really strong year this year for the real-life NFL Detroit Lions. We'll see if that translates into a good card next year for Strat. Screen pass, guessed wrong, 10-yard pickup, and that'll bring up 3rd and 1. So that was to Felton again, his second catch on this drive. Helped convert on a 3rd and 6 just a few plays ago, and so now we're at 3rd and 1. And that's going to be a pickup up the middle of 10 yards. So that was Jamal Williams with his 12th carry. And move the chains again. Carolina has been able to move the ball up and down the field throughout this contest. So let's see if New Orleans can stiffen up here a bit. There's a catch for Williams and a pickup of 13. That's 3 receptions now for Williams and 58 yards. Jones now with 287 yards passing. That's kind of difficult here in Autumn Wind, where each league has different rule sets, and we don't play with the dump-off rule, which tends to help quarterbacks kind of pad those numbers. But here, you've got to earn it. Either the sack comes, or the pass is going to be complete, or it's going to be incomplete, and we don't go to another card. So it does make it difficult to rack up yards. 2nd down and 5 after that 5-yard run for Jamal Williams. He has 44 yards in the contest. And that's Felton. He runs to the strong side of the line. You can see those 2 6s. And again, he hit that 11, but he only gets a white die 2. Now, I believe if he gets a white die 1, maybe he'll get the value of that 11. But he only gets his per carry average if it's on his card. So he musters 4 on the play. It's now 3rd down and 2. And Jones again connects with Williams. And they convert that first down. Did it the hard way on Jones's short pass card, which is hardly elite. Completions only on 6 and 9 with a must run on 7 and 8. He's a pretty good running quarterback. And so up the middle he goes. That was Balaj with the touchdown. And so Carolina answers the New Orleans VooDoo's touchdown and tacks one on themselves and puts the extra point on. So now we're looking at a 3-score game, 30-13. And that was the last play of the quarter. So we're headed to the fourth quarter. So the VooDoo have a lot of work to do. Touchback, so we won't get a chance to see that elite kick return or have a shot at some magic here with a long gain or a touchdown on 4. We won't see it. Off tackle run for Chubb. Picks up 6. Second and 4. The game is moving very, very briskly. Both these coaches know what they want to do, and it doesn't take them long to put their play in. Another run for Chubb and a first down. Off the 37. Pretty much run this same I formation throughout. Here's a pitch out to Chubb, trying to make some magic on his card, but unfortunately, that's on the D card. No linebacker in the zone, but he's able to make the play. He runs on the side with the really only dominant run defender that Carolina has, and that's Brian Burns. Deep shot, incomplete, third down and 12. So Brian Burns, you've got that 6 and 11, who also plays for the Panthers, the real-life Carolina Panthers. Zeros all over the field, especially up the middle, just so vulnerable. But when you're down by 17, so they pick up 12 on the play. It would have been a first down, but the run containment rule was in effect. So now it's 4th and 1. And probably the ball game here if they don't convert. They're 0 for 2 on third down, but this time they do get it, 4 yards. A pass to Jesse James, who I believe that's his first catch. It is. And so they've made their way to the 50. So the VooDoo need 3 scores and a little bit of voodoo in the other direction in the form of a turnover or some quick 3 and outs. But it starts here. They have to be pretty much letter perfect for the rest of this game. Looking for Robbie Anderson deep. He has 2 long gains. Tua is going to try to run for it. He fumbles, and it looks like Carolina has recovered. So must run on the long pass, and after that fumble, Carolina will take over at the VooDoo 47-yard line. Looking for Mike Williams. He is going to pick up 9 on the play. And Jones has now officially gone over 300 yards passing, 307, 20 for 31 on the day. Mike Williams himself with 5 catches for 78 yards. Defense guesses run. Daniel Jones was going to take it himself, and he's pushed in the backfield. He loses 2 yards, gets the snap, and goes backward. So now it's 3rd and 3. Once again, I'm obligated to say it would be a 57-yard field goal here for Justin Tucker. And there is a 2-man in the zone flat pass that nets a yard. And here we go again from the 3rd time from the shield, Justin Tucker is looking to extend this lead, and he does. A little risky there, giving the VooDoo a chance to take over possession basically at midfield, but he decided to kick it anyway, and that lead is now pushed out to 33-13. So they're down by 3 touchdowns with 8:42 to go. So the VooDoo have to start thinking about just checking this ball downfield and hoping for some great rolls. Here's a pitch out to Nick Chubb, or maybe we get a chunk play from him, but that's just not going to happen on the D card. As a defensive end, he runs right toward that 6. And Burns again is able to make the play. Post pass to Evan Ingram. A receiver reading, but the pass is incomplete. It's now 3rd down and 9. So if Carolina holds on, they will take on the Montreal Alouettes in the divisional round of the AFC Autumn Wind playoffs. Deep shot, incomplete. Now it's 4th down and 9, and New Orleans is going to go ahead and punt this away. The ball at their own 20. So the VooDoo are now trailing by 20. A great season for Butch this year. Looks like things are going to wrap up today for him, and he will finish at 9-8. He made a great run in the 4th quarter to pick up that 5th playoff spot. I was keeping my eye very closely on him because I, with the Los Angeles Rams, was able to secure the 6th playoff spot. And there was a lot of things that had to happen, including some wins from him and some losses from some other team. And through a crazy confluence of events, I was able to punch my ticket to the playoffs. Six minutes to go as we're wrapping up this AFC wildcard game. Carolina has this one in hand, 33-13. So the other matchup we're going to have here in just about a half hour will be the last of the 4 wildcard games, and that will feature the Shreveport Steamer taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are coached by Duke, and the Eagles last year were the champions of Autumn Wind. And he'll be taking on Rick Byron's and Shreveport. Those are 2 really good clubs, and it should be a fun matchup. Long-term team members here of this Autumn Wind League, which has its roots. It's from literally 50 years ago. It's probably one of the longest-running Strat-o-matic leagues across the stratosphere. A lot of rich tradition in this league. If you want to learn more about it, if you're new to the hobby, there's lots of broadcasts here of these playoff games. You can visit, I think if you Google OOPS Strat-o-matic, you can find it. Find more information about the league. It's a 30-team draft league, and each league has different rules. This one is what they call a double counting league, where there are 5 sets of defensive cards that every team can get based on the run and the pass, based on your strength. There's extremely poor, right? Poor, average, good, and very good. And what you do is you total up your front 7 for your run cards and your back 7 for your D card readings. And I mean, it really does make a difference if you have a very good defense versus an average defense. But we've seen some interesting teams this year that can score a lot of points and yet have below average defenses and have been able to advance. We already saw that in an NFC matchup that we broadcast a couple of days ago. But some of these teams have some elite defenses with very good run defense and pass defense, and that's how you get total points allowed that give you numbers where some of these clubs are only allowing less than 20 points a game. So does make a difference. But again, if you can build an offense that can, kind of stymie a poor defense, plus if you've got some pass rush, you can get away with a poor pass defense if you've got some pass rush. It's a little more difficult when you have a poor run defense. But again, there's ways around it. All sorts of chess pieces that you can move all over this board. While I've been talking here, Tungavailoa just threw an interception, so that'll leave us with 2 minutes to go in this contest. New Orleans has trailed throughout this contest. Carolina has been up pretty much the whole way. And they are going to advance, and they will face the 12-4 Montreal Alouettes. The Alouettes last year were I believe the runners-up of Autumn Wind, who played Philadelphia. Very, very strong team. Would not at all be surprised if they made their way back. But obviously Carolina will have something to say about that, and so too will the Giants. And as you can see on that screen, so too will the Raiders. So there are your final 4 teams. So since we made it to the end of the broadcast, we can just be clear. The AFC has been set up. Our divisional playoffs will include Joe Golden and his New York Giants, who will be taking on Tim Bowler and the Oakland Raiders, Tim Bowler. And we now have Dan Shore and his Carolina Panthers are going to be taking on Claude Turcotte and the Montreal Alouettes. So that is your final score. Let's run through the box score quickly before we close out, because we're going to be putting on another game in about 50 minutes. So Carolina started off the scoring. They had a long gain, I believe, to Williams on that first drive, and it led to a 3-yard touchdown pass from Jones to Jefferson. The VooDoo tied it up after a 61-yard touchdown pass to Robbie Anderson. But after that, it was all Carolina, which included a 59-yard field goal from Justin Tucker, as well as a 58-yard field goal. There is Justin Jefferson's second touchdown, a 48-yard pass from Jones, and a Justin Tucker 19-yard field goal again. Evan Ingram, a 1-yard pass for the New Orleans VooDoo, got it a little closer there to 23-13. They were unable to convert on the 2-point conversion that would have knocked that down to an 8-point game. And then after that, Carolina drove the length of the field. There's a Ballage 1-yard touchdown. And again, Tucker, a 56-yard field goal. So field goals of 59, 58, and 56. In fact, he missed a 49-yard field goal. So we'll look at the stats here. Daniel Jones, 308 yards through the air and 2 touchdowns. I'm sure he has quite the quarterback rating. He does, 117 quarterback rating. Tua Tagovailoa, 2 touchdown passes. He also had an interception. Nick Chubb, a nice game for New Orleans, 142 yards. Not much running for the Carolina Panthers, 45 yards. Jamal Williams was the leading rusher. Some big-time numbers from some big-time players on Carolina. 76 yards for Goddard, 78 yards for Williams, 66 yards for Jefferson, and 2 touchdowns, and another 61 yards to Logan Thomas. So plenty of big weapons there for Carolina. And I believe they had 2 sacks as well. There's one for Roquan Smith, and there is another for Derek Brown, who also is a real-life Carolina Panther. Only 1 interception in the game, and that was to Fenton. So we are going to wrap things up. I'll double-check and make sure that no one is in. Yeah, no one is there. I'll send a message here real quick to see if anybody wants to join, but I don't think that they will. And if they won't, we'll wrap this broadcast up. If neither of the coaches wish to talk, I'm going to wrap up the broadcast, period. Please let me know, period. Thanks, exclamation mark. So Shreveport and Philadelphia will be kicking off here in 45 minutes. That is the last of the NFC contests. We already had one game that has wrapped up, and we can say it here at the end of the broadcast. Houston defeated St. Louis. And so we have to wait to see what's going to happen between these two matchups before we determine the playoff seeding for the divisional playoffs. And I believe we are going to go ahead and wrap this up. So there's your final score. Carolina over New Orleans, 33-13. So Carolina will make their way to New York to play the Giants, and the Oakland Raiders now will go on the road to take on, excuse me, I said that backward. Carolina is going to take on Montreal. They're going to go to the Great White North, and the Raiders are going to make their way traversing the United States, heading from California to New York to take on the Giants. So there's your final score, 33-13. Congratulations, Dan Shore. Dan Shore's Autumn Wind Club we had 3 teams. I joined 7 years ago, and he did as well. And all 3 of us, him, and there was another coach for another team, but I can't quite remember who it was. We all were franchises that entered the league at the same time. And so congratulations to you, Dan. I hope that you can continue to push forward with this club. It's a great team with a lot of potential moving forward as well. And just a lot of weapons. This is going to be a team to be reckoned with. We're going to see if their time is now. And New Orleans has a great future ahead of them with Tua Tagovailoa. He's going to have a much better card next year. And I think that Butch is going to be able to build around that. He's a great, great coach and was able to manage to get this team into the playoffs. And congratulations to you too, Butch. So we're going to see Philadelphia with Dave Saminsky, along with Rick Byrons from the Shreveport Steamer here in about 45 minutes. So join us for that next broadcast. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it. God bless everybody. Stay safe and take care.